Did you know? More than 70% of Americans over 60 are living with at least one of three silent numbers, quietly damaging their heart health and brain function, that is, high blood pressure, bad cholesterol, or unstable blood sugar. Unfortunately, most of us only discover it when it's already too late. That's why it's so important to track these three health numbers before they quietly harm your heart and brain. If you're hearing this now, then perhaps you still have time to take control before those seemingly harmless numbers silently steal your cognitive health and cardiovascular wellness. Today, I'm Dr. Eli, and I will help you understand why these three important health numbers need regular monitoring and how not to miss early warning signs from your heart and brain. So, how exactly are these three numbers silently affecting the heart and the brain? There's something many people overlook: the so-called normal numbers in your routine checkups, like blood pressure, cholesterol, or blood sugar, are actually mirrors, quietly reflecting the health of your heart and brain. When any of these numbers starts drifting outside the safe range, the heart often suffers first, with subtle signs like fluttering, fatigue, or that strange sensation of your heart working harder for no clear reason. And the brain, especially the areas that manage memory, focus, and executive thinking, also feels the impact, gradually. You might notice small signals, like walking into a room and forgetting why, struggling to organize a simple task, or just feeling like your mind isn't as sharp as it used to be. These may be soft, persistent knocks from your brain, signaling that your blood vessels are no longer functioning as they once did. And among all three, blood pressure, often brushed off as a senior issue, is the first piece of the puzzle that can set the heart and brain on high alert, sometimes through the tiniest signs we tend to ignore. High blood pressure is the silent destroyer of the cardiovascular system, especially when left uncontrolled. It forces the heart to overwork, leading to heart muscle thickening, stiffened arteries, and over time, can result in heart attacks or heart failure. But few people realize that high blood pressure also damages the brain. It increases the risk of silent strokes, harms the hippocampus, the brain's memory center, and weakens decision-making and mental clarity. You might sense this through moments like morning headaches, lightheadedness when standing, trouble focusing, or becoming easily irritable. All early signs that your brain may be struggling under the pressure of high blood pressure. But blood pressure is just one part of the equation. Another number, less painful, yet equally destructive, is cholesterol. Elevated LDL cholesterol, or bad cholesterol, is a key culprit behind arterial plaque buildup, gradually narrowing the vessels that supply your heart and brain. For the heart, this raises the risk of angina, heart attacks, and if prolonged, chronic undernourishment of the heart muscle. For the brain, reduced blood flow can lead to that brain fog feeling, difficulty recalling words mid-sentence, or short-term memory that doesn't seem as quick or sharp. These early signs suggest that high cholesterol may already be impacting your cognitive function. And if your vessels are already clogging up due to cholesterol, then high blood sugar, though slower and quieter, can be just as dangerous. When blood sugar remains elevated, even without a diabetes diagnosis, it still places enormous stress on the heart. Excess sugar fuels chronic inflammation, damages the vessel walls, speeds up plaque buildup, and heightens your risk of coronary artery disease, heart attacks, or strokes. For the brain, unstable blood sugar interrupts steady energy delivery to nerve cells, especially in the prefrontal cortex, the hub for reasoning and decision-making. You might notice signs like feeling wiped out after meals, unusual daytime drowsiness, or mental clarity that comes and goes. These could be signs that your brain is under stress from fluctuating sugar levels in the blood. It's not just temporary brain fog, but possibly one of the first warning signs of memory decline if blood sugar isn't well managed. A few years ago, a patient named Joseph, 67 years old, came to see me. He wasn't overly concerned. He just wanted a quick checkup before a trip with his grandkids. His blood pressure was slightly elevated, cholesterol borderline, and blood sugar just above normal. Nothing alarming on paper. But during our chat, he shared something that stayed with me. I used to be quick with numbers. Now, when I help my grandson with his homework, sometimes I just blank out. It wasn't every day, but it bothered him, that momentary mental fog. We ran more in-depth cognitive tests. What we found was early signs of vascular cognitive impairment, subtle, but likely linked to those creeping changes in his blood pressure, cholesterol, and blood sugar. Joseph made changes. He didn't panic. He didn't wait for a crisis. And that's the part I want you to hear clearly. Sometimes the heart and brain don't shout, they whisper. And if we listen closely enough, we can act before damage becomes permanent. If there's one message I hope you take from this video, it's this. Your heart and brain are deeply connected, not just emotionally, but biologically. And your blood pressure, cholesterol, and blood sugar aren't just numbers. They are early signals offering you a window to protect your memory before it starts to slip. The good news? You don't have to do it alone. Start by monitoring your blood pressure regularly at home. And don't hesitate to visit your doctor for routine checks of your cholesterol and blood sugar, because that's how you listen to your body before it speaks too loudly. I know, caring for your health after 55 can feel challenging, but you're not alone. We'll keep exploring simple, science-based ways to keep your heart and brain deeply connected. See you in the next video, where I will share a fresh perspective on memory closely connected to heart health.